All right guys, so let's go ahead and start this by me telling you this is probably one of the hardest videos to make for a number of reasons. The product I'm talking about is the memory mic from Sennheiser. They sent me this thing months ago, and I felt at the time when it came out it was in beta, so I gave it time. I gave them errors that this thing was doing. They kind of worked on them a little bit, and then now I've hit the point where I've kind of had enough. And now it's time to do a video that's pretty much not good for Sennheiser on this product. So first off, let me explain the premise behind this thing. This right here is allowing me to record, and right now I'm using my normal camera, so I'm having to record audio on this separately, but I'll explain that in a second. What it's meant to do is have you use your cell phone, and this thing syncs up with it, where basically as soon as you start it by using the app, now you have to use the app to record video, or you have to use the app to record audio. Now right there starts the limitations, because there are some phones that have amazing cameras that have amazing software that you're not able to utilize because you have to use Sennheiser software. First off, when I started using this, I had the Pixel 2 XL. I noticed with the video there were a lot of choppy moments, and I felt like things that honestly I couldn't fix. But the whole idea of this is so that for people who want to vlog and want better sound quality, because this thing right here is a condenser microphone. Like, it's really clear, it's really good. I have no complaints as far as the way the quality sounds using this microphone. Because if you look at some of the ideas, like if you have a kid that's in a child's play and they're up on stage and they're singing, you know, most of the time you can't hear them, you're hearing everybody else. Or let's say they're in a play, but you can never hear their parts. You can put this thing on them somewhere and basically have it record their parts, and you're videoing with your phone, you can automatically sync it up. It will automatically sync up, which is amazing when it works, but it doesn't always work, which is what causes the headache. So what I thought was I would use it for doing like overhead shots. If I'm working on if I'm dealing with a product and you see the shot where you see my hands and you see the product itself, that this thing can be clipped onto me, and I don't have to be like right in front of a microphone, because technically right now I could walk to the back of the room, which I'll show you, and I'm still able to talk and you hear me exactly the same as if I was up there. So what's the problem? The problem with this is with their app, it always had a hard time connecting and really, getting the app started and it connecting with the device. Sometimes I had to restart several times, and really it was frustrating because when you're ready to shoot, you're ready to shoot. And let's just say you're trying to capture a moment, your kid's about to go on stage and you can't get this thing to connect. Because it retailed originally for $250, now it's down to $200, and even at $200, this is a Sennheiser product that I just think wasn't ready. Now let's go ahead and talk about some of the things that it does. You can see that's a white box. It's kind of hard to miss, and I think the first thing I would have liked is this had maybe some color options, or if it was just black. Black's a little easier to hide than a white box sitting here. So there's no way, like if you wanted to use it to record for a film or anything like that, that there's any way to hide it. I've tried to hide it underneath clothes and it just rubs the top of this microphone and you're gonna hear it anyway. Now it does have a magnetic flap on the back, which I thought worked well. It's able to connect onto here. For the longest time I was shooting videos with button-ups that had a pocket right here, so that I could clip it in, put it in the pocket, and just slightly shoot out of frame where you guys couldn't see this thing at all. And it worked for the longest time with no issues. And I thought it was fine, but it worked because I was just recording my audio, and then I was just syncing it up with my video on my DSLR through Premiere Pro. Kind of defeats the purpose of the syncing it with your phone. It just never worked that way. So I had several problems trying to use video for it to sync up. It would sync up fine, but with movements, like you see this and it moves fine, there are times where it just kind of did jagged stuff. And if you're a YouTuber, you can't really afford to have quality like that. You have to focus on quality, and to have an app that's limiting you to get the best quality, it's not a good start. Where my frustration led to got me all the way to the Pixel 3. I've been using the Pixel 3. I kind of set this microphone to the side, but just said this product's not ready. It's not worth reviewing. Although honestly, looking back at it, I should have reviewed it from day one, because I've always said if a company is willing to release a product exactly like it is, then it honestly deserves to be reviewed exactly like it is. Now again, I don't know if this was because it was Sennheiser and I felt like, all right, maybe they need another chance, maybe give them a little more time. I regret doing that. Now this video I know could ultimately end my relationship with Sennheiser. I'm at a point where that's okay. I buy a lot of the products that I review already, so I don't mind doing that with Sennheiser stuff. I'm okay. I can't give this thing a positive review. I can't tell you guys that this is a good product when honestly it's been nothing but a headache. But the final straw, the one thing that just sent me over the edge with it is the Pixel 3. Somebody reviewed it and said if you have the Pixel 3, forget about it. It's not gonna work. And I was like, this guy must be crazy. Like, there's no way that it's not gonna work with one of the most popular phones. I have the Pixel 3. I figured now's the perfect time to test it and see if this guy is really right. And if he is, everybody needs to know about it because a lot of people have the Pixel 3. Now, obviously, if you have an Apple product, this may work completely fine, but you can't just gear just towards Apple, especially when you're a company like Sennheiser and you have both sides that you kind of need to please. I was able to connect this after several tries. It did have an update, so I updated it to the latest firmware, which as of today is the latest firmware, connected it to the phone, and after 2 or 3 tries, I was finally able to get it to connect and get it to where I could record. I switched it over to the camera, hit record, nothing. Okay, so I pulled up the app so I can tell you exactly what the error says. It says camera error. An unexpected error occurred while initializing the camera and or the recording. No matter how many times that I tried, turned off the app, restarted the app, turned off the mic, restarted the mic, went over and over and over, it would never record video with the Pixel 3 using this microphone. And now that is because it's Sennheiser software. It has nothing to do with the Pixel 3 or the Pixel 3's camera or the video camera, none of that. It's the software that Sennheiser has that basically feels half-baked in almost every way that I've tried it. And I think for $200, this is garbage. Garbage to the fact that there's no way that I could recommend it to anybody. I shelved this thing. I just wanted to forget it, and I can't. And I can't let you guys go and buy this thing knowing that it doesn't work. So really the way that I'm making this work is it is capable of recording 4 hours of audio on its own, but it still has to use the app. So what I'm doing is I'm using the app, turning it to where it's recording audio only, and I'm having to use it where in Premiere, or if you use Final Cut Pro or whatever editing software, I'm having to sync it up with the audio of the video myself. Now that's part of what they're saying this thing can do on its own by using their app, but if you can't do that, you're having to take one of the biggest selling features away from this thing. But at $250, I felt like it was a ripoff. I feel like at $200, it's still overpriced and not ready. I think this thing needs to be more at $100, but I think Sennheiser needs to work on the app itself. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was a little different, but I felt like this needed to be made. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video. Thank you guys so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, guys, make sure to stay tuned for more.